Hello everyone, and welcome to a quick tutorial for setting up a DualShock 4 controller to work with Adventure Quest 3D. Unfortunately, DS4 Windows does not work with a 360 pad or a 1 pad, so you'll need to find an alternative program for that. I would recommend Xpadder. I do believe it's a paid-for program, so hopefully the comment section can dig up some cheaper alternatives. But let's dive right into this. First thing I had to do when I installed the program was click Hide DualShock 4 Controller. For whatever reason, if that's unchecked, the controller doesn't always read. And the next thing you'll want to do is click on over to Auto Profiles, hit Add Program. You can either go to Steam Games and it'll pull up your entire Steam library. You'll just have to browse through and highlight a game. Or you can go to Browse for Other Programs, and that should be your normal file path to reach Adventure Quest 3D. You just want to click right there and hit open. I've already done that, so it's listed at the bottom of my thing. And controller 1, just for you guys, it would be default or none. AQ3D is my custom profile that I've set up to work with all of the hotkeys in the game. And so next thing we're going to do is show you how to do that. I'm going to duplicate default, name it demo, and that should give me, yes. So default just rebinds the PS4 pad to an Xbox 360 controller. So your PS4 pad will work with just about any game on Steam that has controller support. And now it's time to fill in some of the gaps. So, the first important thing to note is the touchpad in the middle of the controller acts as a functional mouse. And that is one of the key reasons I chose to work with my DualShock 4 for all of this, because there's a lot of non-mouse driven controls. Well, there's a lot of non-button driven controls in the game still. The game is very much designed to be played with mouse and keyboard, and they haven't completely phased out the mouse through button prompts. So we have to emulate the mouse on a controller. Touchpad does so perfectly. Alternatively, you could do the mouse movement directions on the right stick and clicking in the right stick as mouse click. So click to the right side of it. You do mouse to the right, left side, mouse to the left, mouse forward, and mouse backwards. Then you've got your left stick or your D-pad for movement, whichever you prefer. I prefer using the stick. The movement keys are kind of weird in this game. E and Q are strafe instead of it being WASD, but W and S are still forward and backwards. Just a little bit weird, but it's doable. Next up, you need, basically, you've got movement and mouse control down. Camera stuff, you can switch mouse left and right with your camera movements, but then you lose the functionality of the mouse. You could also put them over here on the D-pad. They are A and D to move the mouse left and right. That frees up these two for quick emotes. And you can go through and switch all of these to 1 millisecond, and then when you hit those buttons, it'll quickly load up the emote for you. And it's a fun little trick to have, but it's really not needed. And then on to the 4 main buttons. So this is completely up to user choice on how you want to configure your controller. I prefer to have A as attack, which would be button 1. Circle as jump, which is spacebar. triangle as your inventory, which is B, and square as tab to switch through all of the enemies. And then you bind your remaining skills, which are just the number buttons, up to the shoulders. So for combat, you really only need X, square, and the shoulders to make it function. Of course, you can move around with the left stick, but most of the attacks auto pull you into the target anyway, so you can't really move and dodge. And that should be everything you need. Oh wait, I forgot the most important one. Clicking in the right stick is left click. So your right stick has completely taken over all mouse functionality in the game. You click it into click, you move it around to move the mouse, and left stick moves the character, right stick moves the mouse, and your D-pad moves your camera. So give that a save, come back to auto profiles, and force this onto AQ3D, hit save. AQ3D should now be using demo. Let's pull up the game and make sure it runs as we hope it. Okay, so here we are in the lovely town of Babylon. I've got the mouse buttons. Full mouse control. It's a little bit sluggish, a little bit slow, but it is not. You can adjust that in DualShock 4 for how sensitive you want the mouse to be. Click in the stick, and you can get zoom up and down. Left and right on the D-pad and adjust the camera. Square is talking to my enemies. X is attack. All of my skills are functioning as they should. And the real moment of truth is, did I type in squat correctly? Yep. So everything is functioning exactly as we set it up to. A few changes that I personally have made for my setup, and all of this is free for what you guys want to do, is I have nothing, on my personal setup, I have nothing controlling mouse left and right. I just use the touchpad, which again, I forgot to capture mouse, but you have to take my word on it that the mouse is moving, and to prove it to you, I'm just going to highlight my skills with it. But I prefer to use the touchpad for all of my mouse control needs. It's a little bit easier for me. And left and right on the control stick is A and D. So my control stick controls my camera spinning instead of using the D-pad. But you can also do a claw grip on the controller, which is... Where's my things like this. Your pointer finger is on the D-pad. Your middle finger and ring finger on the shoulders, and your thumbs on the stick. And you can use claw grip to control everything. It's a little bit uncomfortable, but there are a lot of people who use claw grip in everyday gaming, so more power to them. But that should be all we need. Everything's working. You can fine-tune it however you'd like. Remember, the download to DualShock 4 is in the description, as well as a giveaway for 2 of the closed beta keys. If you want to get in on the beta, or you've got a friend who needs to get on the beta, and you've already used your one friend code from the Kickstarter, there was a giveaway that should be ending Friday. I'm going to talk to Corin. If they plan to end closed beta prior to Friday, I'll move the giveaway deadline up to accommodate for that. And these keys should get you in before it goes public. That giveaway is also in the description. You'll just have to follow the instructions on there. And you can potentially win yourself some beta keys. Until then, I will see you guys someplace else. Have a good day.